Well, the key thing, obviously, when you're doing broadcast is brevity, which takes some saying for me because I'm a man of words. Trust me, but it is brevity, and that's the key thing. And even now, I'm learning that. But the other thing, of course, is that you need to have insight, and 20 years of covering football in all weathers, in all kinds of competition, talking to people and finding out stuff, some of which never makes it to print, as we know, Phil, because you've gained people's trust, and so some of the best stories have never seen the light of day, but they provide you with context. And as you were saying, and yourself, sometimes you can see someone talking, and you can know what they're saying, whether it's true or not. You don't necessarily need to say anything about it, but you know whether or not they are talking from a position of knowledge. And when you go to air, when you're talking on the radio or on TV, it really depends on what form of media you're on, because there'll be some form of media where you have 3 minutes to sum up a great deal. So you can't go off on a tangent and talk about all the things that you might have rehearsed in front of the mirror the night before. And then there'll be other long form, whether it's a 2-hour radio show or a 1-hour TV show, where you get a little bit more time to be able to talk about what you know, but you have to make it relatable as well. You can't just parrot information. Anybody could do that. You need to make it engaging. You need to make it interesting. You need to make the listener or the viewer think, well, how does that relate to me, or my club? And that's actually one of the first things you learn in local journalism. How does it relate to me? What does it mean to me? So there are lots of different kind of transferable skills that you take from print journalism into broadcast journalism.
I was thrown on set at the BBC for the first time when I broke the story of Robin van Persie moving from Arsenal to Man United, August 2012, I think it was. And I was shaking and I was blinking and the bright lights were on top of me. And it's very hard to process your journalism. Broadcasting and journalism could not be more different. And those that nail the two are very talented. And you're live on air, there's no going back. And actually, I'm now better in a live environment than I am in a pre-recorded environment. I'm infamous at the BBC for doing retakes after retake of recorded stuff. Joe would have seen many people doing this, but I think I've broken records for the amount of voice pieces on radio, VTs, which is television packages that you prepare for broadcast, as lives, out in an event where you speak as though you're live in front of a camera, but it's actually recorded. Got this, I strive for perfection, and no one's ever perfect. And you have a lot of voice training and camera training by really good people. There's a guy at the BBC called Rob Nothman. He's a legendary radio broadcaster, and they try and they give you all these techniques, and unfortunately nothing can compensate for just doing it, for getting on set, for getting in front of a camera, getting into a radio studio, doing it as much as you can, whether it be in hospital radio, student radio, local professional journalism, you name it. It's there's no real secret to it. And so I found the transition very difficult. And even now, I get nervous, and that cheesy old phrase, fail to prepare to fail. It's very rare that you'll go on air unless you are just so pumped with adrenaline and know the story inside out, like on transfer deadline day, that you don't even have time to make the notes. It's in your head. Who's going from where to where the negotiations are up to, how long's the contract, when he's going to have his medical or something like that. But when it's proper stories, especially when they're sensitive legally around doping in cycling or corruption in cricket or something like that, some of the very intricate stories around racial abuse, for example, in recent years as well. You've got to be so well prepared, make your notes. You've got to make your legal checks as well with your duty lawyers wherever you work. If you're not sure about something, don't say it. And so thinking about all that while trying to appear well on television or radio is very difficult.